July the 14th, and we just thought we'd just give you a few little updates, show you a few things that's going on in the garden today. One of them, some of this stuff is bad stuff. July just seems to be the worst month for within the gardening time, within the planting and growing period that we have. July seems to be the worst for me, and I'll tell you as we go what's going on. One thing is my arbor that has my squash on it, my winter squash, which were all lovely, but my acorn squash, I guess you can see some of this, it's dying. You know, so some of you can probably guess right away if you look at the whole plant what happened. But I'll show you. John can show you. But the dreaded squash bug, right at the base of this plant, and I've sprayed it, so there's not any bugs on it now. But they ate it almost completely off. The only reason I left this one here because I was hoping that would, but see, it's gone. There you go. So they ate it right through, and I was always thinking that it was when they were a little bit younger. But then I do remember that I've seen zucchini, full-grown zucchini, just die like that. Probably the worst enemy of squash. I wonder if the ladybugs attack those. I don't know. Did use some dreaded insecticide in that one spot right down there, just so it wouldn't go to my butternut, which right here you can see, this is the first butternut, how big that sucker's going to be. It's still growing. Of course, we'll leave it on the vine a lot longer. See that thing beside it is healthy. When that gets crispy and brown and dry, then we'll probably take it off. And of course, if you don't know, butternut, winter squash are called winter squash because they sort of have to cure. You put them in a cool, dry place when you pick them in the fall, and it's still, I say Thanksgiving. Usually by Thanksgiving they're ready, and then they're good for probably till February or March if you keep them dry and cool. A lot of times they'll last that long. So these were acorn squash, and it was loaded with acorn squash. In fact, I was losing some because they weren't getting pollinated right, but I did have some growing. I think they've fallen off. I don't even see any. It must have fell off. But anyways, my butternut's still doing well, and hopefully I'll keep the bugs off of that. And also, this is what we used to call patty pan, and I don't know if it's winter squash or summer squash. Oh, the butternut's all the way over here, John, look. That butternut squash is the first squash over on the other side, and it's grown all the way over to here. That's what I was going to show you a different squash. There is what we used to call patty pan, and they said it was winter squash, so all right, here's one. And there's more of them in there too, but anyways, that's what those look like, and they didn't climb too much either, they went right around. But it's very healthy. That one's very healthy, so hopefully I'll get some squash off of that. And the one thing about them growing on the ground, I think that they probably start attaching to the ground a few places. Yeah, that one right there's rooted. See, John, you see that where it's not pulling up? It's stuck to the ground, and it's starting to grow a root right there, which is good. That's just another spot where it's going to get some moisture, some water and nutrition out of the ground. So we made a video on showing our new fertilizer infusion for our drip system. Well, I did something that I hadn't done in all my years of gardening. I've only done it a few times, but I think we over-fertilized. And I'll show you one of the signs if I can find them. Some of the plants didn't bother at all. Here you go, John, right here. See the edge of these leaves? Where the edge of the leaves are like brown and like crispy. That's a telltale sign of you burnt your plant, okay? And my tomato plants are big enough now that it's not going to kill the tomato plants. It's not, it might set them back a little bit, but the thing that it did, because we are getting so much rain at certain times where it's just rainy and moist, and anybody that grows tomatoes knows that tomatoes don't like a lot of moisture on their leaves, because what happens, what does that look like to you gardeners? blight or some kind of fungus that's got onto the leaves. And as you see, none of my leaves are on the ground, so it's not because of that. I think just because of the moisture, and I made my plants weak, because you can see on this one, it's got burnt just a little bit too. These plants are younger on this side than they are on the other side. But I got a little bit of blight going, so I had to do some copper spray yesterday. Here you go. There's, John, you see that up in there? That's blight. And the only thing you can do is spray and hope. And a spray's not like a cure for it, but it will slow it down and maybe eventually get rid of it. The only thing you can do is just cut everything you see that's got fungus damage. See, this whole little runner here, this extra piece, I'm going to cut the whole thing off because it looks like it's getting it. And so I'm not going to take a chance. And what I'll do is try to save these plants. But if I see them keep going, what am I going to do, John? Take it out.
Take it out? Take
the whole plant out.
Oh, take the whole plant.
I'll sacrifice, what did I say? I used the famous, the needs of the many outweigh the needs of the few, or whatever it is. And I will compost this. I'm not worried about that. I mean, because the funguses are here. So just because they're on leaves, don't waste it and throw it in the trash. I mean, it's going to compost just like anything else will. It doesn't matter. Look, it got the, that is Brussels sprout that turned yellow there. Oh, geez. Let's walk around the other side, John. The best way to get to the other side of this bed is walk around all my other beds. My potatoes are still looking happy. I'm excited. John and I almost got John to help me to dump this bag the other week, and I said, no, you know what, I'm gonna let it go. It still looks good. Some of the leaves are dying, but it's still very healthy. And also, if John turns around, he'll show you there's another bag over there and all the tomato growing out of that. I mean, and potato. All right, so I got to go back in here, go past my Blue Lake bush beans, which I'm sure I've talked about these in the video, but I don't know. I got over 20 pounds of beans out of 20 square feet, plus another row behind me on the ground. So I think that's, I mean, for me, that seems to be a lot. That zinnia is dead. Have to pick that up later. But so I told John I was probably going to come through today and see what I got. Yeah, there's beans there. There's some beans on it. Because every time I pick, I say this will be the next time I'm going to pull these up. But I really think I just might, because they're producing, but they're going downhill. And if you're like me, one of my biggest things is hanging on too long for plants. When I could just take that time right now, pull these up, and I'm going to plant them back with beans. And maybe a few peppers in the middle. I got a few peppers left. See, those are pretty nice beans on there now. These are the best tasting beans. In fact, John will tell you that all of our vegetables, he's had quite a few of them. We've had some family dinners and had the lima beans, the string beans, what else? The squash. And the tomatoes are just coming in now.
Lettuce here and there.
Oh, the lettuce has been really good. And everything has tasted just delicious. And so, what do you think it is, John?
Soil.
It's the dirt. It's got to be the compost. And on top of the compost, which goes into my compost, is the minerals. And we always put the mix of the green sand, the gypsum, sometimes a little bit extra phosphate. What else are we putting in there? There's something else I'm missing. Bone meal and azomite. We probably need to get some more bone meal pretty soon. Our zinnias are doing awesome. We got all different colors. And they've been great for my ladybugs. And John will tell you, we keep seeing the parasitic wasps too. I'm not sure why the certain flowers bring in the predators, the predator insects, but they do, and zinnias are one of them. I don't know where I got that tip from, probably on a YouTube video, but it's worked, and they're just growing like crazy too. I just pulled one up here because it broke off. That one's about done too. It might just be done too. Well, it's still growing, look at that. It's a white zinnia there. I guess white, yep. So this is the other side of the bed. We had to walk all the way around, but you'll see, look at that plant. That's ready to, at that point, I'm taking it out just because I'm afraid it's gonna infest some of my other tomato plants. I got a couple tomatoes on, did one just fall off? It's dropping its tomatoes. I'll keep these and see if they'll ripen up. That one had a little bit of rot. I haven't seen too much of that this year. And rot, that is. So I'll pull off those tomatoes. That one's not worth saving. This is a new type for me this year. And I'm trying in my journal, but I'm not being very proactive. There you go. In doing so, in writing down certain things like which of these tomatoes that I'm growing this year are more susceptible. And I don't remember any of the other ones having the Polish linguiça. I don't have that whole bunch of them, but I don't think any of the other ones are having problems, but I'll have to look. But I will mark down that one of the ones that got the fungus. My brandy wines are another one that seem to tend toward being susceptible, but man, I just try to baby those because I love those brandy wines so much. So I'm not going to take the root out. I'm going to leave it in for my, oh geez, there we go. Leave it in for my microbes, and we'll just compost that. But you can see it just about had it. All that's not worth trying to save. Don't waste your time on it. And what I'll do is probably find a healthy tomato plant, because I still have time to get to growing, and I'll get one of these big, well, there's a giant one right there, but that's too big. That right there, one of these is, I guess it's this one, that looks like the main. There's a giant, sucker, if you will, but they're not called suckers anymore. Oh, there's a good one right there. See that, John? I could take that and plant it like down that far, 6 inches or so, and it would probably do just fine. No roots or anything. Well, you know, since we're over here, how about we do one, just to show people how we do it. So I dug this hole pretty deep, because I told you I wanted to dig it deep. So I'm just gonna come over here. This was a sucker. I'm trying to think of the word they use after that. It's just a runner or whatever. But I'm gonna cut it right at its base. Just cut it right off. And then I'll clear off this stuff at the bottom. Tomato plant. It's genetically the same as that plant right there. It's a clone. And some people soak them in water, but I don't think you need to. See, is that one? Oh, it's okay. But I just didn't like the color right away on that. Oops. So I'll stick it in the hole. And then I'm going to take a medium-sized handful. Don't be shy. You're not going to hurt your plant with this stuff. If it's what I use, I mean, it's all mineral based. It's not really a fertilizer. It's just the minerals that plants basically crave. Oh, there it is. I was looking for my... And then I'm going to take my microbial fungi powder. So this is microfungus. I don't know. I think this might have got a little moist, John. I wonder how you dry that out. It's okay, I think. It's just all sticking together. And I don't have any roots, but I'm still going to put some there because it's going to grow roots down there. Tomatoes will grow roots. Whatever part of the tomato is in the ground, they'll grow roots. If you leave a tomato vine along the ground and you don't use anything for it to grow on, you know, prop it up with anything, when it touches the ground, it'll make roots. So... there you go. So this is getting watered right now, but I'll come back a little later, and I'll put some starter water on it. Water with a little bit of stuff that's good for it to start. We'll water it good, and I have to remember, get it watered every day until it gets established. But, and if you do this, you'll come back and you'll look at your plant, and it'll look like, oh man, it's dying. Just leave it alone. Give it, I'd say a week, unless it's just totally dead. Because sometimes it takes some time to get going, to get established. But once it does, it'll start growing. Right here is one that I grew, and it's just going, I forgot about it. Look how straight that is, I guess reaching for the sun. That was exactly what I did. What I showed you I did, this is exactly what I did with that one. And you can see it's like going crazy. So it does work. Not too many plants that I know of. Maybe someone can comment. I would love some comments to be able to talk to you guys, anybody that's watching. So anyways, that works really well. So if you lose a plant, fungus, whatever, just take it out and replant. And I would say you could do that till the end of July anyways. Well, here it's going to be sometime in October unless something happens weird. And sometimes it's not even till November till we get a frost. And that's basically when my tomatoes are done. But as you can see, for the most part, the tomatoes are doing great. I love the trellis system. But we're going to go back and we're going to put metal pipe across the top instead of the wire, because the wire is sagging terrible with all the weight. So we learned that. So if you're going to do it, use like metal pipe, not plastic, because plastic won't hold it up. Because if I had to guess, with all the tomatoes, when it's full, it's going to be several hundred pounds on that thing. Ox hearts, I think. Yep. And there was one, oh here. The Roma is just growing crazy. And I'll pick these tomatoes just like, almost like this. I'm going to go ahead and pick them so I can show you. When it starts getting that red, where the red's all the way to the top, I will pick them. If you don't, you're just adding to the risk of a bird coming by and just pecking on it. And once a bird pecks on it and opens the skin, then here come the ants and everything else, and you'll just lose the tomato. And so I can take them inside, and we can show that at the end of the video, actually, John, if you want to. And I lay them on the table in there and just let them ripen. And then when I get enough, I'll pop them whole right in the freezer and keep them in my freezer until I'm ready to make sauce. Except for the ones we're eating, which I eat a lot too. This one I can't wait to see when it turns. This is called a, what is it called? Vintage wine. And you can see how it's got the different stripes, little stripes on it. And it is loaded. I mean, really loaded. All these tomato plants are just really prolific. They're all full of tomatoes. As long as I can keep the plants alive, they're still growing too. That one up top doesn't look real great. I wonder if that's just, that looks thirsty, doesn't it? I hope that's all it is. I'll have to keep an eye on that. That worries me a little bit on that one. That is a ox heart. Ox hearts are great, and they grow great big sauce tomatoes, and they're very good to eat. I was telling John that I used one for a tomato and bacon sandwich the other night, and it was delicious, really, really sweet. And what was neat about it, it wasn't as juicy as a regular like beefsteak or brandy wine. So the bread didn't fall all apart when I was eating it. It was a better tomato actually to eat on a sandwich. So now we're inside, and this is where I lay my tomatoes. Drives my wife crazy, but she doesn't mind too bad. But we just have to move them all whenever the family's over, which is about every other week. We have a bunch of people here to eat. So I lay them out here until they're ripe, and you can see most of these are pretty close to ripe, and just really nice looking tomatoes. That one cracked a little bit. I'll have to keep an eye on that one. I probably need to freeze it. Like I said outside, what I do is, if I'm not going to eat them or use them, I put them in a Ziploc and just put them in the freezer whole, because when I get ready to make sauce, I just take them out. That's a marigold I save for the seeds. And zinnias I save for the seeds. I just take them out all together and cook them, and then I run them through my KitchenAid juicer and take all the seeds and the skins out, and then I make my sauce, which we'll be sure to make videos of that too. Oh, here, This is my big one. It was in the refrigerator already because that was a pound and a half. And that's a German Johnson. They're not your normal perfectly circle round tomato. They are really knotty and knobby. And that's right, because the German Johnsons don't get real deep red. They're more of a pinkish look. Can you smell it, John? It smells very good. And I just decided to use an Oxheart instead the other night, but I will finish that one off. Or either stick it in the freezer. That little piece that's exposed might get messed up, and I might cut that off. But the rest of it will be fine to put in sauce if I don't use it up. And it's just, that's what I ate on my sandwich, which is the inside of an Oxheart, which is my big sauce tomato. You can see how much meat those things have. Very little inside juicy. I mean, they're just great for sauce, but like I said, man, that is a sweet tomato, and it's good on a sandwich. All right, so that's where we're at right now. The tomatoes, my wife said last night, the tomato season has begun, and she's right. She knows what that means. At times there'll be probably 30 pounds of tomatoes on my table here, if everything goes all right. Oh, I was going to tell you one more thing, and then we'll go. I know. So these are my cherry tomatoes. And my cherry tomato plant's on the patio, and it's just got, I think we counted almost 50 tomatoes on it already. But I went out the other morning, and guess what I saw? I saw yellow on my my almost 8-foot tall cherry tomato plant. And so I treated it and cut off the bad stuff, and it still looks pretty healthy. But you know what I think happened? I think because of the canopy's draining right onto the tomato, and I think probably off the top of the canopy, it got some bad stuff. And so I can't move it because it's tied all to the canopy. But anyways, hopefully it'll be okay. We'll keep an eye on it because that thing will give me enough cherry tomatoes to feed several families if I wanted to. All right, so we'll get back with you soon. We got a lot of stuff going on. We do need to make another video. The next video I'll show you. We're having some problems with our grass, and I don't think it's our method or what we're doing. I think it's maybe what was in the soil under it, and I'll explain that later. But John and I both were sort of down about that, and hopefully we're going to try to fix it. We'll see if we can. But overall, the grass looks great. It's just one spot that's really frustrating, to say the least. But we'll show that in the next video. So, please leave some comments. If you leave comments, I'll do my best to respond. I would love to hear from all of you what you think. If you have some good ideas, or if I told you something that you enjoyed and are going to try to use, let me know. And so I guess that's it for today. Get out in the garden. It's good for your soul. It's good for your body and everything. And we'll talk to you soon. Have a great day. Goodbye.